Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. So this is the beginning of a new series that I'm going to start putting onto this group, which is going to be called the Bright Spot with Taryn. So the idea with this is that Monday is, of course, the start of the week. It's the start of a fresh week. It's a new opportunity to get in, do manage your workload the way that you want, run the week the way that you want, get everything done, just kind of like New Year's, right? So we think about New Year's and it's always this fresh start, this fresh opportunity. And so I wanted to do this new series as an opportunity to help you start the week off right, but also an opportunity to start bringing you some new tips, some new exercises, things that you can deploy right away to start having a big difference on how you manage your work-life balance, the general fulfillment that you have in your life, right? Those are all the things that we're always talking about when we think about work-life balance. And so we're going to try it out. We're going to see how everyone likes it, see if this is helpful for you. And so we'll just continue seeing how it goes. So we'll do this for a few weeks. If you do find this helpful, please do me a favor, drop a note in the chat, even if it's just a quick emoji, something along those lines, to let me know if the content has been helpful for you, because that's always the goal, right? So we want to make sure that I understand what you need and understand what you like. And just like the poll we did last week, right, we'll continue to do more of those. And a lot of the answers that you're looking for from those polls will start to come out in these sessions and other content that I'm going to start building out in the group. So lots of fun things that are going on. So why do we want to call it? So it's the Bright Spot with Taryn, right? So I said before, right, I feel like Monday gets a bad rap, right? People associate Monday with work. They associate it with the end of fun that they had on the weekend. And so the reason it's called the Bright Spot is I'm really on a mission to make Monday a bright spot in the week again. When you think about how you come into your Monday, it really sets a tone for how the whole rest of the week is going to go. So I mentioned before, it's kind of like New Year's. When we all think about the new year starting over, that's generally this feeling of excitement. It's new beginnings. It's the opportunity to do things the right way. But when we think about Monday, it's always often with a very different tone and maybe a little bit more of a negative tone. And so what I want to do is start trying to help promote this idea of bringing that feeling of New Year's and that feeling of exciting, fresh beginnings into Mondays. And how can you bring that same energy at the start of your week, regardless of whether you're going into a week full of work or you have a really heavy workload, whatever the case may be. A lot of times the way that you start the week is how you carry yourself through the rest of the week. And so it's really, really important to have that really positive first start, right? So that's actually what we're going to talk about with this first session. And I have my notes here, so you're going to see me look down every now and then because I am just not that great to be able to just remember everything off the top of my head. But today's focus will be about paying attention to the energy that you bring to Monday, because you've heard this in a lot of different ways probably throughout your life, but what you see is what you get. So what that means is the energy that you see and the energy that you bring to things is also going to be the energy that you get back. So if you come into the work week and you're saying, oh my gosh, it's Monday, like I can't believe I have to work again, like that's what you're going to receive back throughout the day. That's the energy that you're going to continue to carry through all of your interactions with work and the way that you're approaching your workload. And so a lot of times if we can just kind of flip that around, it's kind of incredible the way that it changes the dynamic during the day, how you feel about things, and that then has this really amazing ripple effect on everything else that's going on in your life. So there are 3 things that we're going to talk about that you can start doing right away to have a really wonderful Monday and then a really wonderful rest of the week. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest to have a really positive Monday is to choose your positive greeting. So what does that mean? So the first thing is, if you think about how you interact with people and how you usually start a conversation at work or something like that, a lot of times people will maybe have just a quick, hello so and so when you're writing an email or when you're sending a chat message or anything along those lines. And so one thing that you can do right away is just incorporate something that's like, happy Monday, or I hope you had a great weekend, or, something along those lines, something that's really high vibe and high energy. It's a lot like if you've ever heard the phrase that if you smile, then other people will smile back, right? So it's this reciprocal energy that if you can kind of find it in yourself to be that starting point, you'll receive that really high vibe energy back from other people, and that will in turn have amplify anything that you might be feeling in a really positive way. And so just having something really simple like that, like happy Monday, or whatever spin you want to put on it that fits your personality, that's a really great way to start. But the other thing is, if you think about how you might oftentimes respond to other people, like, so if somebody else does not come to you with that high vibe energy and they just are like, oh, how's your morning going? On Mondays especially, many of us have a tendency to focus on really, really negative energy. And so what I mean by that is try to think back to how you typically respond. A lot of responses on Mondays are things like, oh, it's a Monday, or, oh, it's been really rough. Like I, could have used a longer weekend, things like that. And while, I mean, obviously we will all take longer weekends. So I'm not necessarily saying don't say those things, but, if you try to say something different, like, oh, it's been really great. I, had a wonderful breakfast, or, I've got my coffee here and I'm so happy about that. Again, it's kind of like the high vibe greeting. Just try to take a moment and try it out and see what happens. So if you choose in the morning on a Monday to say, okay, the next time I'm asked how my morning is going, this is what I'm going to focus on, and focus on this thing that makes me really happy. Like, try that out and just see what happens with that interaction. So and again, what I'm saying here is not necessarily to lie about how you're feeling, right? If you're genuinely having a rough day and you feel like that's important for somebody to know, like, have that moment, have that's fine. But what this is really talking about is choosing to focus on what's positive rather than choosing to focus on what's negative. So again, if you can think of, oh, my coffee is really great today, and that's giving me like a good boost this morning, that's what we're talking about. And so that actually leads me into the second thing that you can do to have a really positive Monday. That second thing is to focus on gratitude. So I keep using the words positive and negative because that's the first thing that's kind of coming to my mind early on a Monday. But another way to think about this is to focus on the things that you're really grateful for. And so the examples that kind of come to mind when I think about this is again, when you don't necessarily want to go to work because you wanted the weekend to last longer, right? Right. That's something you probably, a lot of us say on a Monday morning is, I really don't want to go to work today. So you're focusing on what you don't have, right? Which is you don't have more time to relax. You don't have more time for fun. You're focusing on what you're lacking. But if you can try to turn that around and focus on what you do have and what you do have in abundance, that can change the entire energy of that statement. So one thing that I've done as an example is oftentimes I find myself saying that statement of, oh, I don't really want to go to work today. Like that just doesn't sound great. A lot of times you might notice yourself saying that in bed, right? Before you actually even get out of bed. And so why are you saying it in that moment? Are you saying it because you wanted to sleep longer? Or are you saying it because you're bed is really comfortable, and so you want to stay comfortable? Or are you saying it because you had an amazing weekend? Like, what is the root of why you don't necessarily want to go to work in that particular moment, or why you don't want that to start? And if you can focus on that and then give yourself just a few minutes to really be grateful for whatever that root is, that can have a very different impact on the way your Monday starts. So the example that I used is, I said, a lot of times I will notice myself saying that statement when I'm in bed. And part of the reason I'm saying it is because I'm super comfortable in bed. Like, I'm so comfy that I don't want to leave the comfort of my bed. And so when I do this for myself, I will go, instead of saying, oh, I don't want to go to work today, or even if I do, I might catch myself and then come back and say to myself, wow, okay, so really what this is that I'm so comfortable right now that I want that comfort to continue. And then I will just kind of like burrow deeper into the comforter or into the blankets, and I will just sit there and kind of just give myself a beat to enjoy the comfort of my bed and how happy it's making me in that moment, and how, how great it was to sleep all night and have that comfort and be curled up with my husband, whatever the case is, right? I'm going to focus on that and let that be the end of that interaction or the end of that thought process that I had, rather than closing on what I don't want to do or what I don't want to focus on, right? So again, it's about choosing what to pay attention to and choosing what you want to focus your energy on. Another way that you can focus on gratitude outside of that is to think of something that you are very excited about for the day. So maybe you're not excited about the idea of work in general, but do you have really amazing coworkers that you love interacting with? And so maybe you can be grateful for going to spend time with your amazing team, or maybe you have a project that you're working on and you're about to do something really big with it. That can be something that you're grateful for. So try to then again kind of reshift your energy a little bit and reshift what your mind is focusing on to find the positive. And then the third thing that you can do right away to have a really amazing Monday is to start your day with 5 minutes or less. It doesn't have to be any more than that, but 5 minutes of something that you just genuinely love. So a lot of times on Monday, because we're shifting from the energy of the weekend and the thought process of the weekend, which tends to be a lot slower, to the hustle and bustle of the work week, it can feel like we get up and we are just moving and moving, and it's adding to that thought process of stress and things that you don't want to do, right? So all of us can take 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not big, it's not difficult. You could, even wake up 5 minutes earlier, and it's not going to have a huge impact on things. But give yourself 5 minutes or even less to focus on something that you love. So that could be giving yourself a very quick dance party in your kitchen while you're making breakfast. It could be reading a book while you eat breakfast, or sitting on the couch for just 5 minutes with that book, going for a walk around the block. So the idea is, again, you're just giving yourself an opportunity to experience joy on your Monday, rather than focusing on not wanting to go to work and wanting to have more of the weekend. So hopefully all of that makes sense. Those are 3 things that you can do right away. If you have any questions about those or you want ideas for them, feel free to drop that in the chat. I can share some of the things that I've done, or we can just learn from each other and learn some of the things that other people have done in this group to have a better Monday and start their week off right. And so the other thing that I'd really love to hear from you is, what are you going to do today to have a really wonderful Monday? So if something that I've mentioned in that list really resonates with you and you're like, yes, I want to try this, I'm going to do it today, drop that in the chat. And that is the best thing that you can do, right? You can hear tips like this, you can hear exercises like this, and you can choose. You don't have to deploy everything right away, but you can choose one that really stands out to you, and you can choose to deploy it today, because today's Monday. So that's why we're doing the video today. But I'd love to hear from you and hear what did stand out, if these tips were helpful. And of course, we'll have more coming. Every Monday, there's going to be a little bit of a different focus. But for now, we're going to go ahead and close out. Let everybody get to the regular workday, or maybe you're closing out the workday if you're listening to this on repeat a little bit later today. But whatever time you're listening to this, I just want to close out and just say, thank you for being in this group. And remember, no matter what else is happening, no matter how your week is going or how it's starting off, just remember that you are powerful, you're beautiful, and the world needs more of what you have to offer. So keep coming back, keep learning these things, and keep applying them to your life so you can have more opportunities to show the world all of the amazing things that you do have to offer. You got this. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week.